This is a box of hinges and it was designed using Fusion 360. So let me show you how to do it to make it completely print in place. No extra talking, let's go.
Start a new Fusion project, and as always, save it somewhere so that you know always how to find it by going into File, Save, and then saving it somewhere on your computer where you know you will always find it. Now, when we start sketching, you will go to Create, Create Sketch, click on this bottom plane right over here, and now we will be making the boxes. So these sizes will really depend just on you, but I will make my own dimensions, and if you want, you can follow me. Now, go in the Create section. On the rectangle, we will be creating a 2-point rectangle. First of all, we will be creating it on the first side. Then we will click either L, or you can go in the Create and click on Line, because we will be needing to basically connect it with the center so that we then can space this line so that we know how far the boxes will be apart from each other. And then we will need to create the mirror line, which then we will be mirroring the box on the other side too, so that they are both the same size. So you will again select the line tool, start from the beginning, stretch it up. Once it's stretched up, as you can see, I don't have it anyhow constrained. So what I can do is go into constraints, then select the horizontal or vertical, and as you can see, it automatically places the line so that now it's actually vertical, and it will stay that way, because if I then would mirror it and it wouldn't be vertical, it would mirror it somewhere completely else than I want it to be. Now, all we need to do is basically give dimensions to this box, which will be the outer wall of the box. Basically, this rectangle that is down there. The wall will then, of course, shrink it a bit. To dimension it, you can go in the Create section, select sketch dimension, and then click on the box's sides and then start dimensioning it. But as I always suggest, use the shortcuts. So instead of going in the Create section, you will just click on D. Once you click on D, you have the dimensioning tool in your mouse, and you can click the side that you want to dimension. Let's go, for example, for 80 millimeters. And as you can see, the rectangle right now moved completely from the center. So we can just move it back because we don't want it to overlap to the other side. So once we have this dimension set, you can set the dimension even for this side exactly the same way. Or that might be a bit small, so I will make it a bit bigger. If you want to edit the dimension, you just double click it, and once you double click the number, it allows you to enter a new number again, for example 35. As you can see, it edited it right away. The sketch isn't fully constrained. To know if it's not fully constrained, which means basically that Fusion doesn't know all of the information it needs to know about the sketch, you can just move with the blue lines and it will show you exactly the dimension that we need to set it, because you always want to end up with a fully constrained sketch. So you can just again go to the dimensioning tool, select the line that you want to dimension, and because this is only half of the gap that then will be on the rectangles, you can set it to half of the gap that you want to have. So for example, if I want a 15 millimeter gap, I will just go for half of that, which is 7.5 millimeters. So once I put it in there, we can actually mirror this to the other side. So to do it, you will just go into the Create section, select Mirror, select all of the rectangle sides, and now just select the mirror line, the one that we created, and as you can see, it will pop it right to the other side. Once you have that, you can actually click Finish Sketch to make basically the bottom of the whole box, which the walls then will be sitting on. You will just go to Create section and start extruding, but as I suggest, always use the shortcuts. Extrude is E, so click on E. As you can see, the extrude menu pops up, and now you can start extruding. So select both of the profiles, and we will be creating the thing that they will be sitting on. And since we are basically going down with the extrude, you can just put it in minus size, because it will be going down, and because I want only 2 millimeters on the bottom, I will be extruding it minus 2 millimeters down. Once I hit enter, we have these new two basically base plates for our boxes created. Then we will extrude again the exactly same profiles, but now we will be using something called the fin extrude, which only extrudes the complete outline of what you are extruding. So that will create the walls for the boxes. And over here, as you can see, you can even select the wall thickness. So because 1 millimeter is pretty thin and the 3D printer would have kind of a problem 3D printing it, I will set it to 2 millimeters so that it has some kind of a rigidity and it doesn't break when I print it. So once you have that, you can actually start extruding it up. Let's say that I want 30 millimeters right now to have the extrude. We will be sketching one of the side of the boxes. So create sketch, click one of the side of the boxes, and now you need to project the boxes. Go into create section and then click again project. Again, there's a shortcut for it, which is P. and project you will be using quite a lot, so I definitely suggest, again, learn the shortcut, click P and just click both of the objects. And as you can see, when I hit OK, it puts the sketch of the things that I had created already. Now we will be making the hinge. It will be using the line tool, so click on L or go in the create section, of course, connect these two lines on the top. And now to create the main body of the hinge, you can just click C for circle, or again choose it in the create section, start from the center of this line and stretch it out. And now I always recommend to leave a bit of gap over here so that basically it doesn't interfere with the boxes. Click on the dimensioning tool and then basically right click the circle, and instead of pick circle arc center, you will be picking circle arc tangent, so that you now can input, let's say 0.5 millimeters, for example, because now there's 1 millimeter of space between the hinge and the boxes. Now we need this support for the hinges, because if it wouldn't be there, it wouldn't print, because as you can see right now, it's just flying in the air. So you'll click the circle and put it to the projected side of this rectangle, and as you can see, it's already snapping on the side. So you can click it, then go in the constraints and choose tangent, so that this line can be tangent to this circle. And then what we need is this angle right over here to be basically higher than 145 degrees. You know that it needs to be 90 degrees plus at least 45. So you can actually input like 55. And now you have the angle and you know it will print very well. So that's all from this sketch. You can finish the sketch and now start extruding this hinge. So just select the three profiles that we just created and extrude it, let's say 5 millimeters. But now make sure that the operation is new body, so that we can then operate with the hinge a bit more, because if it would join it, we would always have to operate even with the box. We will join it later on. So now click on OK, so that you have the first hinge in your design. So once you have that, you can start a new sketch on this side of the hinge. Once you start the new sketch, you will again project it. That's why the project tool is just amazing. You will project everything that basically you have, both the boxes and the hinge, and now you will start a new circle from the center of this hinge, which will create the small pin that will then be holding the hinges together, and they will be rotating around. So once you have that, you can actually sketch it and just make sure that it's smaller than the hinge before. So let's say I'm gonna input 8 millimeters. Just make sure there's enough space so that it's not like crazy close, because the printer doesn't have that much accuracy to actually print it well. So once you have that, now we will create the second profile of the hinge, which is basically just a mirror of this hinge to the other side. So we will again create a mirror line by connecting the origin with the center of the hinge, that now we can actually mirror the whole sketch of the first hinge across. So again, select mirror, select all of the things of the hinge. When you have it all selected, it should actually be 4 objects, so just make sure you have all of that. As the mirror line, select the one that we just created, click OK, and you have everything you need in this sketch. So finish this sketch, so you can start extruding the pin. And because we made the hinge 5 millimeters of extrude, we can actually make the pin just 3 millimeters, so that then the other hinge would have 5 millimeters of wall thickness and 3 millimeters cut out from it, so that there would be still a wall that is thick 2 millimeters. But as you can see, this would be a complete overhang here from the bottom. So now input the taper angle of -degrees. As you can see right now, what it does is it basically shrinks the extrude to the top. -20 degrees is quite nice. Once you have this created, you will even fillet it so that it's even more smooth. So just drag this arrow and just kind of make it smooth. Doesn't really matter how much you want it to do it. So let's say 3 millimeters. Now we need to create the second one, and to do it we need to go in the sketches and reveal the third sketch that we made. Now you can zoom it in and select all the profiles of the hinge that we need to basically create. Once you do that, there should be shown that you have 3 profiles selected, but the start will be actually with an offset, because we need a bit of space between the hinges so that they don't print together. So select an offset, and let's say that 0.3 millimeters will give it enough space to not print together. Once you have that, you can actually drag the arrow to start extruding it, but as you can see, it automatically selected cut, which we definitely do not want. So you will again create a new body and select the extrude to be the exact same as we did the hinge before, so that it's kind of symmetrical. Once you do that, you can actually hit enter or OK, so that you have it there. As you can see, the space right now between the hinges is exactly what we needed to have. But when we right now hide the first hinge by clicking on it and clicking V, which hides the object, or you can just do it in the object menu, you see that the first hinge doesn't have the hole that we need there to be. So what we need to do is use the combine tool. So go in the modify section, click combine, and then select the target body, which is basically what we will be cutting it from. So that's the second hinge, and the two bodies is what we are cutting it with. So that's the shape that actually will be carving it out, right? So select the second hinge. Now as the operation, select the cut feature and keep the tools. This will basically make the first hinge that we are using as a cut tool to stay in the design. So then click OK. Once you have that, you can actually again hide the first body so that we can see the hole that we just created. And once you have that, we need to basically give this a bit of an expansion so that they have space to move around, because right now they are dimensionally completely accurate. But let's go over here for 0.3 because trying to make sure that everybody, no matter how calibrated your printer is, can actually print this. As you can see, I needed to put it in minus because we are expanding the walls, not shrinking them together. So once you have that, you can click OK. You have basically both of the hinges right now created. And now you can reveal the first hinge, and now we will be just mirroring them by selecting the mirror, selecting both the hinges, and then the mirror plane will be basically the plane that is automatically in the design, which is for me it's the XY plane. It will probably be even for you. So once you select it, it will automatically show you a preview how the hinges will look on the other side, but we don't have them joined with the other boxes. So now just go in the modify section, select the combine tool, and now click basically join together and select always the box and the hinges that belong to it. And definitely don't click keep tools right now because that would just duplicate the hinges that you have in the designing environment. You can just click OK and replicate the exact same process even with the box on the other side and the hinges. Once you do that, as you can see, you should end up with only 2 bodies in your design. Of course, there's a lot more that we can do with this design, but because I want to keep this completely beginner friendly and for everybody to be able to replicate this, I will keep it just this simple so that everybody can have it. And if you would like to see a more advanced version where we will add even a locking mechanism, definitely comment it down below. And if this video was anyhow helpful, you can subscribe because I will be uploading a lot more of these design tutorials and even how to 3D print. So I hope this helps from Innovitech.